On November 24, 1971, a man using the name Dan Cooper hijacked a commercial jetliner, extorted the equivalent of $1.6 million in modern currency, and then leaped into a freezing storm. It remains the only unsolved commercial skyjacking in United States history. The event began on Thanksgiving Eve, aboard Northwest Orient Flight 305. It was a routine 30-minute hop from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. Sitting in seat 18E was a passenger traveling as Dan Cooper. He was a quiet man in a dark business suit who appeared entirely unremarkable to the crew. Shortly after, he calmly ordered a bourbon and soda. Cooper handed a flight attendant a typewritten note. When she didn't immediately open it, he leaned in and told her, "Miss, better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside his briefcase, he revealed 8 red cylinders wired to a large battery. He demanded $200,000 in $20 bills and 4 parachutes, all to be ready the moment the plane touched down in Seattle. By maintaining the appearance of an average business traveler, Cooper turned a routine holiday flight into a high-stakes hostage situation before anyone on the ground even knew he was a threat. When the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper allowed all 36 passengers to leave in exchange for the cash and the parachutes. He kept the flight crew on board as his insurance policy for the next leg of the journey. He then gave the pilot a highly specific flight plan for Mexico City: stay below 10,000 feet, keep the landing gear down, and set the wing flaps to 15 degrees. These instructions were designed to keep the plane slow enough for Cooper to lower the rear-aft airstair. The Boeing 727 was one of the few aircraft models that allowed a passenger to walk out of a rear door and drop directly into the sky while in flight. Cooper had identified a specific mechanical vulnerability. He turned the aircraft's own design into a functioning escape hatch that allowed him to exit the plane without fighting the cabin's air pressure. As the plane headed south, the military scrambled F-106 and T-33 fighter jets to trail the airliner from a distance. But the fighter pilots saw nothing. It was a moonless night with heavy cloud cover and driving rain. From their cockpits, the 727 was a ghost, and Cooper's movements in the back of the cabin were invisible. At 10,000 feet, Cooper opened the rear door. He was met with a 115-mile-per-hour wind and a freezing 15-degree wind chill. Without a helmet or any protective gear against the extreme cold, Cooper walked down the stairs and stepped off the ramp into the darkness. He plummeted toward the dense, rugged forests of southwest Washington. By the time the plane landed in Reno for a refueling stop, Cooper was gone. The technical precision of the hijacking was ultimately eclipsed by the sheer physical danger of the exit, a blind jump into a freezing wilderness that few believed a man could survive. The FBI launched a massive search of the Washington wilderness, but they never recovered a body or a parachute. This lack of evidence created a rift within the Bureau. Some agents pointed to the relatively flat landing zones and argued he survived. Others maintained that jumping into a storm without proper equipment was a death sentence. The only physical evidence Cooper left behind on the plane was a paper bag and a black clip-on tie from Penney. The case remained stagnant until 1980, when a boy digging on the banks of the Columbia River found 3 bundles of rotting $20 bills. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, yet the rest of the $200,000 was never found. In 2024, researchers analyzed the tie. They discovered microscopic particles embedded in the fabric, specifically rare alloys of titanium and stainless steel. These metals suggest the wearer spent significant time in an aerospace metal fabrication shop, where such particles are airborne during manufacturing. These forensic findings shift the suspect's profile towards someone with a professional background in aviation, a man with the technical skills to understand the very aircraft he hijacked. This profile has been applied to hundreds of suspects over the years. Some looked at L.D. Cooper, who arrived home with a bloody shirt the following day. Others pointed to Richard McCoy Jr., a veteran skydiver whose children claim they eventually found his hidden parachute in a family shed. Despite these leads, the FBI found no definitive matches and officially suspended the active investigation in 2016. The story endures because it remains incomplete. By leaping into a storm and leaving no trace, Cooper traded his identity for a mystery that 5 decades of investigation have yet to solve.